Have you ever paused to consider what it truly means to deny yourself and follow God's will? It's a profound question and one that might seem daunting at first. But let's explore this concept together. When we speak of self-denial, as taught by Jesus Christ, we're talking about a fundamental shift in the way we perceive and interact with the world around us. It's about relinquishing our own desires and ambitions, not out of a sense of duty or obligation, but out of love and devotion to a higher power. Consider this. When you empty a vessel, you create space for something new to fill it. In the same way, when we empty our hearts of our personal desires and ambitions, we create room for God's will to take precedence. This is the essence of self-denial. Now, this isn't to say that our desires are inherently bad or wrong. Rather, it's about reorienting our priorities, aligning our desires with those of God, and trusting in His wisdom and goodness. This might seem a daunting task, but it's also a rewarding one. Imagine living a life where every decision, every action, is guided by a divine compass, where you're not led astray by fleeting desires or temporary distractions, but are focused on a purpose greater than yourself. That's the potential beauty of self-denial. But let's not gloss over the fact that this is challenging. It requires courage, conviction, and a whole lot of faith. It means letting go of the familiar and embracing the unknown, all the while trusting that God's will leads to a path of fulfillment and peace. Understanding self-denial is the first step, but how does one go about practicing it? That's a question we'll delve into as we continue our journey. For now, let's reflect on the concept of self-denial, its challenges, and its rewards. As we continue to grapple with the concept of self-denial, let's take a moment to visualize a serene scene. Picture a tranquil lake nestled in the heart of a lush forest. The sky is slowly transitioning from the dark hues of the night to the soft pastels of the dawn. The first rays of the sun are peeking over the horizon, casting a warm, golden glow on the still waters of the lake. This is a new day, a new beginning. It symbolizes the journey we're embarking on, a journey of self-discovery and understanding. Just like the dawn, our understanding of self-denial is gradually unfolding. It's not a sudden revelation, but a slow, steady process. It's a journey that requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. As the light of understanding slowly illuminates our path, we begin to see things in a different light. We start to understand that self-denial isn't about suppressing who we are, but about discovering a deeper, more profound version of ourselves. It's about letting go of our limited perspective and embracing a broader, divine viewpoint. It's about aligning our will with that of God, trusting in His wisdom and love. As we watch the sun rise over the tranquil lake, let's remember that every new day brings a fresh opportunity to practice self-denial, to seek God's will and to grow in our understanding and love for Him. This is the dawn of our journey of self-discovery. Let's embrace it with open hearts and minds. I too have grappled with this concept, and it's been quite a journey. In the beginning, the idea of self-denial was a tough nut to crack. It was like trying to catch smoke with bare hands. The more I tried to grasp it, the more elusive it became. It was a riddle wrapped in a mystery, cloaked in an enigma. The struggle was real, and at times, it felt like I was trying to navigate through a dense fog with no compass. The concept of denying oneself was akin to trying to understand a language that was foreign to my very nature. It was like being asked to give up the essence of who I was, my desires, my ambitions, my dreams. It felt like I was being asked to become a blank canvas, void of any color, any personality. It was a daunting, almost terrifying prospect. But as I delved deeper into this journey of understanding, a glimmer of clarity started to emerge. I began to realize that self-denial wasn't about eradicating who I was, but rather about aligning my desires with something beyond the superficial. It wasn't about losing myself, but about finding a deeper, more meaningful connection with God. This journey led me to understand that self-denial is about emptying our hearts of our own desires to make room for God's. It's about seeking His will, about aligning our desires with His. It's about trusting in His goodness and wisdom, even when we can't see the bigger picture. This realization was like a light in the darkness, a beacon guiding me through the fog of confusion. It didn't make the journey any less challenging, but it gave it purpose. It gave it meaning. It transformed the concept of self-denial from an abstract, difficult idea into a tangible, attainable goal. It was a challenging process, but one that led to profound insights. The journey didn't end with understanding. It was only the beginning. As we delve deeper into the concept of self-denial, we find ourselves at the crossroads of understanding and practice. The realization of what it means to deny oneself is a profound moment of enlightenment, but it is the journey that truly transforms us. It's not about merely comprehending the idea, but about embracing it, living it, and breathing it. We now find ourselves seeking God's will, aligning our desires with His. It's a quest that requires us to relinquish the reins of our lives and trust in His wisdom. We are not just passive observers in this process. Instead, we become active participants, forging our path under His guidance. Imagine you're standing on the edge of a cliff and God asks you to jump, promising He will catch you. You feel the wind against your face, the ground beneath your feet, and the vast expanse of the unknown before you. Your heart races, your palms sweat, but in the depth of your soul, you find a quiet trust. You close your eyes, take a deep breath, and jump. That leap of faith is what it means to embrace God's will. I remember times when I had to let go of my personal desires, choosing instead to follow the path God had laid out for me. It was like standing at that cliff edge every single time. But with each leap, I found myself not falling, but flying. I found strength I didn't know I possessed, peace that surpassed understanding, and a joy that was inexplicably fulfilling. Trust me, it wasn't easy. There were moments of doubt and fear, moments when I wanted to take control again. But each time I chose to surrender, to trust, to embrace God's will, I found myself growing, transforming, becoming more than I ever thought I could be. Embracing God's will wasn't easy, but it was certainly transformative. As we ascend the mountain of self-denial, the view from the top is breathtaking. Picture yourself standing on the peak of a towering mountain, looking out over a vast landscape stretched out before you. This is not just any landscape, but a panorama of your life, painted with the hues of your experiences, your choices, your triumphs, and your trials. It is a testament to your journey, a testament to the path you've chosen, the path of self-denial. As you stand there, the wind whipping around you, you feel a deep sense of fulfillment. You've climbed this mountain, you've faced the challenges, you've surrendered your desires, and you've embraced God's will. And now you stand victorious not because of your strength, but because of His. You've not just survived, but thrived. You've not just endured, but prevailed. You've not just walked, but soared. You've not just overcome, but conquered. This is the reward of self-denial, the reward of surrender. It's not about material gain or worldly success, but about spiritual growth and divine fulfillment. It's about finding peace in surrender, joy in sacrifice, and strength in weakness. It's about discovering that in losing yourself, you find God, and in finding God, you find your true self. The summit of surrender is not a place of defeat, but a place of victory. It's not a place of loss, but a place of gain. It's not a place of weakness, but a place of strength. And it's not a place of ending, but a place of beginning. Despite the challenges, I was never alone on this journey. Yes, there were times of struggle, times of doubt, but through it all, God's grace and guidance were constant. They were like twin pillars of light in the darkness, always there, always steady. God's grace, that divine mercy, was the balm for my troubled heart. It healed my wounds, lifted my spirits, and reminded me that I was loved beyond measure. His grace, so profound and so personal, was a testament to his endless love. His guidance, on the other hand, was my compass. It gave direction to my steps, leading me on the path of righteousness. It helped me discern his will, align my desires with his, and trust in his wisdom. His guidance was my lighthouse, steering me away from the rocks of self-doubt and leading me safely to the shores of faith. In the presence of God's grace and guidance, I found comfort. I drew strength, not from my abilities, but from his endless power. His presence was a refuge, a sanctuary where I could rest and renew my spirit. God's grace and guidance were my companions, making the journey not just bearable, but truly rewarding. So, what does it mean to deny oneself and follow God's will? We've journeyed through this concept together, and we've discovered that it's about emptying our hearts of personal desires, making room for what God wants for us. This isn't an easy path. It's a challenge that requires courage, determination, and faith. Yet, it's also a journey that brings rich rewards. As we align our desires with God's, we start to see the world and our place in it from a different perspective. We start to understand and appreciate the bigger picture, the divine plan. And we're not alone in this journey. We're aided by God's grace and guidance, his love and wisdom. He is our compass, our guiding light, and our source of strength. The concept of self-denial is more than just a call to sacrifice. It's an invitation to spiritual growth and transformation. It's a journey that continually unfolds, revealing deeper truths and bringing us closer to the divine.